Good evening, I'm Ces Orenia Drilon.
I'm Pauline Verzosa.
And I'm Sean Yao.
The big stories tonight, from hostility to hospitality. The Justice Department is now helping the International Criminal Court protect witnesses in the crimes against humanity case of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Could this signal a rekindling of ties between the Philippines and ICC?
And the long-anticipated reorganization of PhilHealth is finally happening. Painting us a picture of how the restructuring will look like is no less than the state insurer's president and CEO, Dr. Edwin Mercado, who joins us later on in the program.
And from the center of power to the Queen City of the South, the battle of words continues between the Vice President and the President's spokesperson and Cebu's outgoing and incoming governor.
Let the ICC pursue these cases. It becomes also our obligation to help them.
It was also a pleasant surprise for us that they're offering this kind of support or this kind of cooperation with the court.
And now it can be told, the Justice Department has been assisting the ICC in protecting a few witnesses in former President Duterte's case. But the DOJ was quick to say, make no mistake about it, it's not changing its mind about the International Tribunal overstepping its jurisdiction when it comes to the drug war. Camille Samonte with tonight's big story.
In the past, this was how Justice Secretary Boying Rimulya sounded when talking about the International Criminal Court and its insistence to probe the Duterte drug war.
Ang posisyon ko dyan, sasalubungin ko na sa airport and accompany them on their trip back.
Oh, sasalubungin niyo pa, sir?
Salubungin ko sila para they can take the first plane out. Sir,
Sir, what about...
Sir, do you mean, are you saying deportation? What do you mean, sir?
I-deport ba sila or what? Since you are in charge of BNI
so, umuwi na kayo. Wala kayong gagawin sa Pilipinas. Kami, kung meron kayong reklamo, file nyo sa amin.
They will not even be empowered to issue subpoenas in the country. They have not even coordinated with us about it. So if they want to come in as a hostile government, as a hostile force, to come in. But they cannot do that to us.
Fast forward to 2025, former President Rodrigo Duterte has been in ICC detention since March. The DOJ under the same secretary is now coordinating, even helping the International Tribunal it once accused of overstepping jurisdiction and trampling Philippine sovereignty.
We already chose not to pursue the cases and let the ICC pursue these cases. Given that, it becomes also our obligation to help them because we are giving up our jurisdiction for their jurisdiction. Kasi nga, ang hirap na i-prove yung case dito at i-build up ang kaso dahil yung mga kailangan mong magsalita ay kasama sa krimen. Kaya komplikado rito.
Rimulya stresses this is not flip-flopping on government's part, maintaining its position that the ICC has no jurisdiction on the Duterte case since the Philippines has already withdrawn from the Rome Statute in 2019. For now, 3 to 4 witnesses have been tapped to testify against Digong. They are now under the Marcos administration's protection while still in the Philippines. The DOJ has offered to fly them to The Hague when it comes time to face the ICC and recount what they know about Digong's war on drugs and the alleged abuses that went with it. But the Justice Department says it will not shoulder the travel expenses of these witnesses.
We will protect the witnesses, whatever it takes, because the prosecution will rely on these witnesses. Walang official communication, basta ito, dumating, we chanced upon this na lang, nung nakiusap, sabi ko, sige, pagbigyan. Alangan naman tayo pa humarang. Mahalaga, yung testigo, makarating na maayos ang kanyang testimonya para malaman natin kung ano talaga ang nangyari sa mga panahon na yun.
However, the DOJ calls it coordination or cooperation. Is this an indication of a new path for the parties? In short, could this mean the Philippines will rejoin the ICC?
That is another decision that we will have to make as a country. It does not mean that, but it just means that we recognize the International Tribunal in charge of the case. Kasi doon nga natin dinala si Pangulong Duterte, former President Duterte. So, yun lang yun.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
Now, the counsel of Duterte's alleged victims were surprised. but pleasantly at that by the Justice Department's support for the ICC and its witnesses. Assistant to ICC Counsel Attorney Cristina Conti says the DOJ is yet to coordinate with them on how to go about the offer of assistance. Nevertheless, Conti is lauding the agency's move. She believes this will further encourage those who have substantial knowledge of abuses during Duterte's drug war come forward.
It was also a pleasant surprise for us that they're offering this kind of support or this kind of cooperation with the court. Alam namin na nag-iimbestiga sila, alam namin na actually nag-reach out sila sa amin, pero yung ganitong klaseng support, this is in a way unprecedented because this really would be a responsibility of a member state.
Meanwhile, the Office of Public Counsel for Victims in the ICC has finally expressed in writing its disapproval of Digong's request for temporary freedom. The OPCV represents potential victims in the Crimes Against Humanity case against the former president. According to the OPCV, it is crucial that Mr. Duterte remains imprisoned for several reasons. Among them are the gravity of the charges and the fact that he now has access to much of the evidence and to the identities of witnesses. The office also cited the influence Duterte supposedly wields over his supporters.
In other news, the long-anticipated reorganization of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, is now underway. The Governance Commission for Government-Owned or Controlled Corporations, or GCG, announced that it has approved the revamp. In a statement, the GCG said the process aims to address several long-standing issues, including PhilHealth's outdated workforce, fragmented data and strategy execution, and issues related to benefit claims. First to undergo restructuring are plantilla positions to improve the state health insurers' efficiency and to address operational challenges. Changes in PhilHealth's internal audit office will also be implemented. A benefit payment appeals office will likewise be established to improve the handling of benefit claims and incentivize healthcare.
And to get a clearer picture of this restructuring at PhilHealth and how this process will unfold, joining us tonight is Dr. Edwin Mercado, PhilHealth's President and Chief Executive Officer. Good evening, Doc, and welcome to the big story. Mukhang natatraffic po kayo. Nasa kotse ba kayo?
Opo, pasensya na po. Sunod-sunod pa po yung meeting. Magandang gabi po, ladies and all your listeners.
Well,
good evening po.
We still appreciate that you're able to talk to us. First of all, what will happen to the employees of PhilHealth? May mawawalan po ba ng trabaho dito sa organization na gagawin?
The reorganization actually is a long process. The last time we had a reorganization was in 2007. So actually in 2015, we had the Development Academy of the Philippines do a study. And it only came to fruition now after almost 9 years of back and forth. Yung pong napipintong reorganization po, may mga bago pong mga posisyong makikreate. Meron din pong mga opportunities for our existing employees to apply for promotion and also for lateral transfers. So it will all depend on what the GCG will be giving us. Right now po kasi it's just as you said, the posting in their website. But we will still need to sit down with the GCG. And in fact, I have a meeting tomorrow to also discuss the details of the program.
How long will this reorganization take?
Again po, we will talk with the GCG. The last time I talked with the GCG commissioner in charge of the PhilHealth, they said that it would be in several phases and would depend on what the organization's need would be. But the soonest that we do it, the better para po panatag ating mga empleyado on the tenure of their services.
I'm sure you're pleased that after 9 long years, magagawa na to sa wakas.
Opo, matagal na pong hinihintay ng ating mga miyembro dito po sa PhilHealth at isa rin po ang pagkakataon para po mabigyan po mabigyan po natin ng pagkakataon yung mga performers na medyo naman po umangat sa kanilang mga posisyon.
Okay, so as of now, you still don't have an idea na kung paano talaga yung magiging implementation nito, Dr. Mercado. But have you seen the study conducted by the Development Academy of the Philippines? Since 2007 pa yun?
A bit po, pero marami na po nabago since then
okay.
po.
Baka
Kasi nga po,
outdated na.
we also, nagbago rin po when the Universal Healthcare Law was passed in 2018. So yun po, by the mere fact that our mandate became different, that all the Filipinos now are automatic members, and our shift to what we call a prospective payment system and eventually into a healthcare provider network setup, parang it will also change, apart from the mandate, into a more matrix type of organization rather than the current na it's more siloed and different functional units. So it's going to be more integrated, and I hope there would be more responsibility coming from the central office on how to oversee the regional operations.
So, Doctor, during this transition period, will there be any disruptions, any risks that members and hospitals should prepare for?
Wala po. It's going to be in phases, as I mentioned earlier. The operations po will be as usual. And in fact, while we're doing the reorganization, we hopefully would also do the digitalization or the transition also in terms of harnessing technology to make our processes more efficient.
That's what I was gonna ask nga eh. Kasi the last time we spoke, no, Doctor, you mentioned that you want to digitalize para madali yung coordination rin with hospitals. Do you think this reorg will help the digitalization, or nasama na ba yon doon sa mga updates done to the study by DAP?
From the previous meetings we had, parang there's already consideration of the efficiency that will be brought about by the digitalization. But again po, it remains to be seen pa. That's why I need the exact details when we meet with the GCG. But we are already doing it as we speak in terms of enhancing our digital process. In fact, we're already hooked up at the eGov app, one of the first few institutions that are hooked up. And you can already see the member contribution, your attribution to your consulta or primary care providers, and even your PhilHealth ID is already attached to the eGov, and already we are using the PhilSys as our identification or our verification process.
While it is rather early, Doc, what improvements can we look forward to, can the people look forward to once this reorganization is implemented in phases, as you had said?
Number one po, yung aming response time, and especially our ability to process claim, will be shorter. In fact, I already passed a mandate to try to lessen it to less than 10 days. From initially it was 60 days, then it went down to 30 days, and I'm looking at further shortening it. So the digitalization process, and if you will look at the initial statement of the GCG, we will also have a separate benefits adjudication unit. It's so mas mabilis pong mangyayari yung mga resolution po ng mga cases na ang mga benepisyo po ay under question or under further studies. So yun po, mas mapapabilis so that the rate of denial and return to hospital will be less. So the short answer po is, for our provider, it will be faster, more fair. For our members, it will be better service.
Doctor, of course, under the Universal Healthcare Law, alam naman natin lahat ng Pilipino ay ngayon miyembro na. But what is the difference between active and active members? Sino po ba talagang mga legitimate members ng PhilHealth who can claim benefits? Because there are some na pag hindi ka daw nakabayad ng 6 months, you won't be able to claim in the hospital.
Sa bagong batas po natin, ang UHC law, ano na po, point of care, lahat po ng Pilipino is already a member, and there's no need to prepay or to even pay the past remittances. There may be some past due premiums which we will still assess the patient, but hindi po siya precondition to access care. So ang bagong batas po, point of care kung tawagin, pwede na pong mag-avail ng services in all the accredited facilities.
And just recently, Doc, House Speaker Martin Romualdez did laud the agency for rolling out expanded benefit packages, lalo na sa kidney dialysis, di ba? But he also urged to review yung pagsagot daw ng PhilHealth, at least 50% of private hospital expenses. How possible is that, Doc? 50%?
Yes, yesterday nga po, I had a meeting with the Private Hospital Association of the Philippines, and we're looking at ways on how to really mandate a no-balance bill for the ward cases. Continuous po nating pinag-uusapan yon. Our data showed that from initially about 20 to 30% support value po, meaning the percentage of the total bill that is covered by PhilHealth in private hospitals, ward accommodation, is now up to almost 50%. So we're looking at other ways to really bring it up, and also the other causes of excess out-of-pocket payment are also related to doctor compensation. So we're also looking at ways to compensate the doctors in some other ways, meaning more based on outcome and also service quality. So yun po ay certain as incentives that we're looking to naman reward the doctors if they perform good.
And Doc, while we're on the topic of PHAPI na rin, of course, we know na tinatry nyo i-pay back as fast as possible yung mga back pay or loans, or not really actually loans, but yung mga utang pa no, nung PhilHealth. Have we significantly narrowed the gap there?
Yung moving forward po, since I took office, medyo mabilis na po our return to hospital and denial rate is single digit now. Our RTH is about 2% and our return to hospital is about 3%. So that's a significant lowering. Ang hinahabol po namin ngayon are the claims prior to my assuming the post. Correct. So we just approved a flexible payment scheme where all those claims that were denied due to lapse in the 60-day filing period are allowed to be refiled. So yun po, pinoprocess na namin po yun. So that will significantly reduce the denials and the, kumbaga, as you said, the back payments that we need to do prior to me assuming the office.
So this adjudication board will eventually do away with that long accumulation rather of debts to private hospitals?
It's not actually well, in a way it's a debt because it's still services rendered. Yeah. But it's more how to adjudicate and also mediate all the differences which may be related to quality of care, standard of care, and also some missing documents that needs to be attached. So if there's a separate unit that is doing it and focusing on it, mas mapapabilis po ang ating proseso.
So to avoid the accumulation, maybe not debts but billings? Billings
yes,
would be a more accurate word to use. Yes. Pero nagiging debt kasi taon na eh.
Pagka kasi po na patunayan na meron pong konting fraud involved, then definitely po it will be denied. So in that case po, hindi na po siya debt, parang denied claims na po yun. But if the claims naman are live and it's a matter of just completing documentation, live claims pa po yun, debt pa po yun kasi services rendered nga po yun.
Dr. Mercado, naalala ko lang because of Pawi's question about Congress and a speaker announcing new benefits for Filipinos. Malapit na kasi mag-budget season, so medyo nandun na tayo sa time na yon. Nakapag-coordinate na po ba kayo sa Congress and maybe with the House Speaker for possible na pagbalik ng budget sa PhilHealth come 2026?
Gandang tanong po yan. We are still awaiting po the decision of the Supreme Court. We think the process that we went through naman is fair. So isa po yun, will there be some rule on what really is the treatment of the sin taxes or the taxes that are soft earmarked for healthcare? But apart from that po, yung budget moving forward, we already presented our actuarially projected benefit payout based on the new benefit plans that we have for the next year. So we already submitted to the DBM And yun po, once
And
we
how
get
much
the
is that?
numbers po. Yes.
Magkano po yun?
Medyo po yung hinihingi namin po for next year po based on our projected payment po is going to be higher than what we got this year. For this year po, we're expecting about 300 to 310 billion benefit payout po eh. And that is coming off from the previous year's 170. So it's a big almost 85% jump from the previous year. And then for next year po, because of the ramp up and the new packages that we'll be getting, we will be computing on how much the indirect sector needs. And this is the member sector that are paid for by the national government. The direct sector po are the ones that are contributing
Right.
from the employed sector.
So magkano po?
Moving
Kayo
pa
talaga,
po siya eh.
umiiwas kayo sa, sa halaga. Mahuhulog ba kami sa silya? O ang Kongreso?
Kasi for precisely why we're digitalizing or why we're doing the reorg is also to cut down on and to improve our efficiency and cut down on waste to para po ma-reallocate namin yung perang ma-save namin to more benefits.
Okay, and tama ba, no? Sige, balikan natin yung reorg, Dr.
Or
Mercado.
are we letting him off on the amount?
we'll find
double
out
the
soon.
310?
Pagka po medyo may firm up na po yung amount, pwede pong right now po kasi moving pa eh. Kasi nga po
sige.
yung aming benefit package gumagalaw pa po eh.
We'll save it for our next interview, Doctor. But
sige
for
na
now,
nga.
sige, balikan ko yung reorg, no? Tama ba, can you confirm that around 7,000 positions yung nire-review currently?
7,500 plus po yung nakalagay dun sa GCG release. Pero yun nga po, we will still be sitting down with them to really do the numbers. Because some, I think, are position counts and not FTEs or not full-time equivalent warm body counts. So we will still go through the numbers one by one.
So, Dr. Mercado, right now, are there plans for further reforms or adjustments dun sa mga benefit packages ng PhilHealth? As we know, yung kidney, nataasan na po yan. But what about stroke, pneumonia? And some members are actually asking sa dental daw. Posible
Yes.
po bang magkaroon ng mga dental packages rin?
At saka optical, di ba? Parang may
Optical.
nabanggit din na gano'n.
Correct.
Kaya
So,
ayaw
isa pong
ibigay ni Doc ang halaga. Ang daming idadagdag.
Darating po tayo dyan. Baka po kasi mag-move pa. Better po pag talagang firm up na yung numbers. But to the question about new benefits, one of the pivot we're looking at is really strengthening primary care. So yung preventive po, more than the curative is what we're looking for. And this is also to answer the clamor of healthy Filipinos saying, we're contributing but we're not getting anything. So sasama na po namin and hopefully ma-announce na in a few weeks yung amin pong coverage ng mga screening. At unahin po namin dyan cancer screening on top of additional benefits po like additional medicines. So yun po titingnan po natin at hopefully matapos na po namin yung pag-finalize po nung benefit plan.
Okay, so yun yung
Alright.
primary
For the
care.
other po, in the other cancers po, we're looking at liver, we're looking at lungs, we're looking at ovarian, prostate, and thyroid.
Wow.
Plus yung sa pustiso po, we're meeting with the Philippine Dental Association actually next week to really map out also additional dental packages.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Kaya ayaw tayo sagutin.
Kaya po hindi ko masabi yung exact figures
nga
kasi ang dami pa pong
Doc,
mga benefit packages.
Panghuling tanong na lang, this reorganization can be finished in 3 years by the time the term of President Bongbong Marcos ends? Nako, nag-freeze na
Yes
si
po,
Doc.
I think we hope to even do it in less than 3 years. Kasi po nga, we need also to give assurance to our people. Of course, until the reorg and the positions are finalized, our internal employees are also wanting to know what their potential options are.
All right, we thank you so much for joining us kahit na kayo'y nasa kotse. Marami pong salamat, Dr. Edwin Mercado, PhilHealth President and Chief Executive Officer.
We're just going to take a quick break, but coming up, we zoom in on local politics as opponents of the new Cebu governor and Marikina 1st District's new congressman try to keep the two from assuming their posts. The details of that when the big story returns. Keep it here.
yan, no? Kasi kailangan, alam nyo naman na kailangan nating balansehin din yung epekto ng pagtaas ng pasahe sa ating mga commuter, sa ating mga kababayan. No, kailangan pag-aralan natin at i-balanse natin ng mabuti yan. So ikukonsulta na po natin yan sa ating economic team para makakuha tayo ng guidance.
And they're at it again. Malacanang blasted Vice President Sara Duterte one more time for her statements against the Marcos administration. The VP earlier called out the palace for questioning her foreign trips.
Hindi ko alam kung sinasadya nila na ayaw intindihin o talagang bobo lang talaga yung nasa administrasyon. Ilalagay namin doon personal to differentiate it from official.
Nakita po natin kung paano po sumagot ang Vice Presidente, napaka-emosyonal. Sabi nga po natin, may kasabihan po na when emotions are high, intelligence is low. Ang tanong natin, kung hindi to personal trip, sana ay naging tapat siya sa pagsasabi kung ano ba ang dahilan ng kanyang pagpunta sa Australia at hindi naman ito tututulan ng administrasyon. At ginamit niya ang OVP Facebook. Ito ay parte ng gobyerno pero pang personal trip. So magkakaroon po talaga ng confusion, conflict of interest.
Palace Press Officer Claire Castro also defended President Bongbong Marcos. Recall that the Vice President reminded the Chief Executive that his job is to uplift the lives of Filipinos and not to have photo ops. Sara was referring to the snap of President Marcos during the destruction of confiscated Shabu in Tarlac last Wednesday. That drug haul is worth more than 9 billion pesos.
Baka po nakalimutan din po ng Vice Presidente na ang kanyang ama ay nagkaroon din po ng pagwi-witness sa incineration ng 7.51 billion dangerous drugs sa Cavite. So baka nakalimutan po ito ni Vice Presidente. So ang pagtatrabaho po naman ay hindi dapat itago, dapat nakikita ng taong bayan. Dapat nagre-report ang Pangulo sa taong bayan.
Meanwhile, another battle has emerged at the Cebu capital. Outgoing Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia is not budging with only days to go before Pam Baricuatro officially takes over as proclaimed winner in the province. Until now, Baricuatro says the Garcia transition team has not coordinated with them yet. There are also reports that Garcia has ordered agencies holding office in the capital's legislative building to vacate the area because she wanted to turn it into her office. Among these agencies are COMELEC and the Department of Agrarian Reform. Meanwhile, over in Marikina City, the Commission on Elections says it is waiting 5 more days before they have finally proclaimed Marcy Teodoro as winner of the congressional race in the 1st District. Whole Body Chair George Garcia explains that's the length of time needed for the decision to become final and executory. Recall that the COMELEC on Bank lifted the order to suspend Teodoro's proclamation over charges of material misrepresentation regarding his address. Teodoro defeated Senator Coco Pimentel in the Senate polls. In a statement, Pimentel blasted the COMELEC's reversal of Teodoro's disqualification, calling it a mockery of the Constitution. He added, quote, "They all know they did something very special in that case, which took them 6 months to cook. At any rate, while and since we are still here on Earth, the very important legal and constitutional issue in that controversy will have to be raised before the Supreme Court."
We're going to be pausing for another quick break, but when we return, it is art and functionality in one for this proudly Filipino brand, which has steadily made its mark in the print industry. We have Millie Monday next. Keep it here on One News.
for staying with us. Thank you for staying with us here on The Big Story. The print industry is often seen as resource heavy. But did you know that it's evolving to embrace more sustainable and creative practices? From eco-friendly materials to locally made designs, print is being reimagined as a tool to bring art and functionality into everyday spaces. Time to feature companies that champion sustainable initiatives. Welcome to Sustainability. Our guest tonight is a tandem behind a proudly Filipino brand that merges art and functionality with sustainable practices through beautifully printed pieces for everyday use. Joining us are sisters and co-founders Margot Prado and Mariel Ching, the women behind Millie Monday. Welcome to the both of you.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for having us.
Let's start, before we go into your sustainability practices, how did you transition from, a typical printing firm to Millie Monday? Who would like to answer?
Okay, so as you mentioned, print is actually the core business of the company. The mother company, Primex Printers, was established by our father in 1979. And as you see how much the landscape has changed over the past years, we had to innovate, to remain relevant to our market, and that's how Millie Monday came to be.
And Millie Monday because, Margot?
Yes.
What's the story there?
Yeah. So Millie is our mom, and she is the heart and core of our family and the driving force in our business. She's 76, and it is just right that we honor her this way.
Like an homage to mom.
Yes, of course. And Monday, it's a fresh start, and we want to give beauty and
joy
to to everyone, to our customers especially, and
yeah. You use water-based inks now. You have this printing machine. Are you the only one in the Philippines that has it?
We're not the only one, but we are, I think, one of the biggest users of HP latex that uses water-based inks that we use for our wallpapers.
Okay, wait,
Yeah,
let's bring it up.
Yeah.
Is that so?
Okay, go ahead while our camera will focus on the beautiful prints that you have.
Yes.
Why sustainable? Why did you think that you, as a company, you want to focus on practices that don't harm the environment?
Actually, our parents, we grew up, seeing them, and they taught us by example, and instilled in us our Filipino values like being masinop,
walang waste, ganyan.
So reduce, reuse, recycle is something that we have been practicing from ever since at home and in the office. But
ayan, we're showing. Sige, sorry. We'll interrupt you muna.
Yeah, sure.
Tell us about what.
Pawi na, you're trying your best.
Look at how beautiful these are.
Yeah,
What are they?
So this is the wallpaper collection under Millie Monday. We're very proud to say that we were able to put together over 200 original illustrations by 9 local artists. And Raxine Maniquis is one of them. She's a very
These are hers.
Yes, this is her collection. It's sustainable because the wallpaper that we use is an FSC certified. FSC meaning it was certified by the Forest Stewardship Council.
the wallpaper that we
The
use
paper
is,
itself, the
it's
material.
PVC free. And as mentioned, it is printed on the HP, and it uses water-based ink, so
May I
it's
just
safe
say,
for
though,
the workers and for the environment.
This saling bubog is supposed to be the Philippines' answer to the Japanese cherry blossom.
Oh.
That's a local cherry tree. Yeah, beautiful, no?
And if you have to touch it to really appreciate the texture, I know like we can't translate it to the camera, but it feels Just like almost not
Materiales
like paper.
fuertes.
Yes.
Only the best.
It's really
Yeah. You said that it's very environment friendly that pwedeng sa ospital.
Yes, yes.
Ganun ka safe.
Yes.
Because it uses water-based inks, so it's non-toxic even for indoors, even for hospitals. In
Dati
fact,
ba what are wallpapers made of?
Yeah, help us understand the dangers of the old
the old
style.
Yeah.
So usually large format printing, it uses solvent ink. So solvent, of course.
No one would smell.
Yes.
That's why I was smelling it kanina. And it
Yes.
has no...
It has no
None.
smell. Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's the big
Very
difference.
harmful.
Very harmful to the workers and to, let's say, whatever space that you're going to install the wallpaper in. And it's a big plus also that the wallpaper that we use is PVC free.
And how expensive is this machine? Mahal. Na-ROI na kayo.
Getting there.
Don't worry, we won't
Yes.
grill you like we did Doc Mercado.
We won't ask you.
So unfortunately, choosing to be sustainable, it's not usually the cheapest option. But if you are, like advocates of sustainability, then you just keep on going, and we're lucky that we have clients and business partners who are aligned in that direction.
But with this one, no, of course, it's the new way of printing. And like, would you say parang hindi nga siya scratch? Kasi nung bata ko, mahilig ako magkiskis ng wallpaper. Tapos sinisira ko siya, galit na galit.
Pinipil mo.
Oo.
Paano pala yung pagdikit? Is it
Sustainable
also
din yung glue?
sustainable?
It's installed through very traditional means, using the glue mixed with water, because we prefer it that way, and it is in terms of longevity and durability, that's still the better way.
But you guys don't just have wallpapers. You
Yes,
also have
look
other
at that.
printed products like
This is so cute.
And
cards.
this!
Yeah.
And this.
So all of them
Bag
use
tags.
recycled or very sustainable materials?
Well, for the note cards,
Yeah, especially for the paper products, we really use FSC certified paper. And when we print that, we use soy-based ink, so biodegradable.
The
And
paper is imported. Is it produced
is.
locally?
It is. Actually, well, most, if not all of the materials that we use are imported. We have local distributors, but unfortunately, we
They
don't
still
have.
import it.
I
Yes.
wonder
Except for actually for this fabric.
yeah. So this is local fabric, the last textile manufacturer in the Philippines, and we're so happy to find them
The
because
last textile manufacturer?
Yes.
lot
There's only
have-
one left.
Are we allowed to disclose?
Sorry.
But anyway, definitely local. And then the artist is also Filipina. She's Mia Delara.
Okay.
And sorry, it's baliktad pala. So, and of course, printed by us. So this is 100% local, including
This one feels
the
like
materials.
leather naman. It's a bag tag? Luggage
Yes,
tag?
it's a luggage
Luggage
So
tag.
parang you just print on anything.
Almost anything.
And this
Kasi
is
wala
real.
nang nagbabasa ngayon. You don't print books anymore.
So we print artworks.
Galing.
But this one, like a leather, is this a vegan leather? Or
No,
it's actually leather?
genuine leather.
And then there's also, parang if you notice kasi mostly flowers, and this one's like a bit more modern. It's very small, but there's a
It's the
jeepney.
iconic tricycle. It's
And
actually the tricycle.
Okay, I need
And it's
glasses.
become a favorite souvenir item that is also available in Cultura.
And same that printer that prints that using biodegradable stuff or earth-friendly stuff is the same printer.
It's a different printer. It's a flat. That one is printed by a flatbed UV printer.
Okay, what's that?
So
To us,
it's-
what's a
sorry.
layman way of
Okay, so
describing it?
with a flatbed UV printer, we're able to print on rigid materials. So it's direct print. So we're able to print on leather, on wood,
That's
on
the poster.
acrylic.
Yes, the poster.
The acrylic is actually, it has the jeepney design. I think.
There.
Yes.
This is the coaster.
I also wanted to ask why it's so important for you to collaborate with local artists because I remember there was that controversy before where fast fashion brands usually just steal the artworks of artists, right? They put it on the shirts, they use it on different items without securing their permission.
That was a very conscious decision.
Yes, yes. We wanted to celebrate and honor also the talents, the creatives, local talents, creatives, the makers through the products that we make. And that's why I think our products also stand out in the market because of these beautiful designs.
Of the design, yeah.
Yes.
And they get royalties for it.
Yes.
How is that determined?
It's
Hindi
a case to
one-time-
case.
Hindi one-time payment.
It depends.
Yeah,
It
sometimes
depends.
it's a
Yeah.
contract.
So yeah. So there's always a contract between the artist and Millie Monday.
And they're always recognized in the let's say in their
Yes.
packaging.
How many artists do you work with now? Because I noticed the themes are very Filipiniana, and it also highlights a lot of our native flora and fauna.
Yeah.
So is that also conscious?
Yes, yes. So the goal is to be able to work with artists from different parts of the Philippines. Of course, we started with Metro Manila-based artists, but recently we were able to work with a Baguio-based artist, a very young artist. So that is the the goal, to be able to tap artists from different.
Great because you gave new life to what was practically parang dying industry, no? Was printing, is it apt to describe it dying? Parang,
Well, there is a big decline in printing requirements, among our corporate clients. That's why we also ventured into this. The pandemic actually pushed us to go into retail, and it has become very exciting too and inspiring for us.
And
because it's still
challenging as
something-
well.
You mentioned that you have a machine that's actually certified as carbon neutral.
Yes.
Can
so-
you explain what this machine is?
So we have a.
Are you the technical person?
Yes,
Operations.
she's operations.
operations?
That's
and
why
she's
I'm like-
marketing and retail.
You are the
I'm
creative.
marketing and retail. Yeah.
So we have a Heidelberg offset machine, and it has a carbon neutral certificate. It's the first one in the Philippines, and so clients would ask us, so what does it mean that it's it has a carbon neutral certificate? When the machine was manufactured in Germany, the carbon emissions were measured, and it was offset by planting trees in Togo, Africa. So, there are those, options. You cannot be like 100% sustainable, but at least
Right.
we're able to incorporate those practices.
Are you planning to export? Because these things are like so nice to share. Parang, I mean, we
It's
know.
a very sophisticated aesthetic, no? Pero still capturing the Filipino spirit.
Right. Thank you.
Oh, hindi yung I mean,
Yeah,
okay
I know what you
naman to
mean.
be okay.
Minsan kasi may pagka, we like
traditional.
we like the more the merrier here. In the Philippines, super gaudy, like bawal yung may blank space, di ba? But these are actually like,
Or
if
the
you saw
cards,
this in
look at the
Europe, di ba?
cards.
It wouldn't be so out of place.
Yeah.
Parang
So are you
ganon.
planning nga?
Well, the ultimate goal is, of course, to be a global brand. We've had customers, and maybe that is one way of our products to reach the global scene. They bring our products and give them
parang
as
souvenir.
gifts.
Oo.
Yeah, and even they're even given us corporate giveaways to international events.
Like what?
Say,
Depart-
mga
like,
forum, conference.
Yes,
ganyan.
yes. The Department of Foreign Affairs is one of our customers.
Oh, they
yeah.
give them to their VIP
Yes,
guests, mga
yes.
conference on the law of the sea, mga ganon.
ganyan.
Yes, yes.
And
Recent-
mga, sa
sorry.
kultura rin kasi maraming nagpapasalubong shopping
Yes.
doon.
Right,
Even
right.
foreigners, even mga
Filipinos and
balikbayan.
expats, yes.
So do you get the word out and
Yeah, so we're very grateful to be part of the Cultura family because it has provided meaningful opportunities for us. At the same time, the SM Green Finds has become the perfect platform for us to showcase our sustainable products.
So you're listed as one of the products
Suppliers.
under SM Green Finds.
That's right. That's right.
Anong criteria?
Well, what I know is the product has to be sustainable and local. So
Eventually, do you want to put that certificate, that mark, like the German printer that you bought really said zero, carbon neutral?
Carbon neutral.
Yeah.
And
Do you
it
eventually
actually
hope
has
to
a
do
logo.
that?
yes, in the wallpaper swatch book, because there's a write-up
Yeah,
on the front page, then we're able to mention that. In some of our products,
Yeah.
especially if the client requests for that, those who have sustainable advocacies, we are able to add those logos.
Okay, where can we buy the wallpaper? Because we have this really nice book, but if they want to look at it, do you have retailers for that as well?
So,
You can't go to Cultura for that.
oh
can you?
yeah,
I'm guessing the
definitely,
others
yes,
are
yes.
there.
So they can reach us through our social media accounts. So that's at millimonday.ph.
It's perfect for an accent wall, right?
Yes.
In your home if you want.
And you know,
Parang
they-
bagay yan sa'yo. It's very you.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Let me think.
They're all
When they said
they're
the
all custom. So they're not available in rolls.
Yes.
So you have to order.
And that's part of being
Parang
Masino.
indent order.
No,
para
but
walang
we
waste.
produce it.
Yeah,
We-
para walang waste.
Oo nga. Kasi you'll be stuck with inventory.
That's right.
If ever.
Yeah.
But sana hospitals do this, no? Wouldn't you rather stare at
May
this?
kwento
It's-
sila, di ba? The
Yes.
Children's Hospital
yeah,
ba?
so HP had a CSR years ago, and what they did was to dress up the cancer center for the kids with wallpaper.
It's visually pleasing. It's very visually pleasing, especially in a hospital,
Yeah,
right?
diba?
Where
When
it's
you're
so
like-
somber, it's so...
Yes.
Yes.
So what does the future hold for Millie Monday? What are your plans?
Well, the hope is to be a global brand, of course. We want to be able to source new material so that we can also expand the product line, and of course tap new talents, local talents.
Hopefully we can get paper, no? That's
Yeah.
hindi yung I mean, I love the handmade paper na parang pinukpok or whatever, but parang limited ang
Yeah.
production.
Yes, yes.
Parang
Even the
massive,
application.
parang mass supplier. Na talagang naka-factory pero sustainable yung pagkagawa.
Yeah.
Tsaka yung paper
Right.
niya approved by the
Well, we have
forest.
abaka. I wonder, di ba nagagawang papel yun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Your mother must be so proud. I understand that it was her dream to be able to make souvenirs. You know,
Right.
and you
Here-
fulfilled that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Margot.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
so much for
Thank
having
you
us.
also.
Marielle, rather, for joining us, the co-founders of Millie Monday.
All right, now before we go, rainbow flags are rising everywhere this Pride Month. These colors make up our big picture tonight. This photo from Michael Vargas of the Philippine Star shows the Pride flag in full LED display on the Mandaluyong building along EDSA this Thursday. This marks more than just a celebration of Pride. It's a reminder of the ongoing fight for equality and safety for the LGBTQIA+ community in the country. Pride Month is celebrated every June to honor the 1969 Stonewall Uprising in New York when queer communities stood up against police brutality, sparking a global movement for gay rights. Meanwhile, in Quezon City, photos from Miguel de Guzman, also from the Philippine Star, feature a mall filled with rainbow streamers. Mall goers can also participate in activities such as face painting and a freedom wall. Also taking center stage, Tomboy Philippines 2025, the country's first national pageant for lesbians. Now on its second year, the 30 candidates joined the mall's Pride March celebration, waving their flags at mall goers.
Happy Pride Month! Ang bilis do, parang
Hindi pa. I mean,
A few days na lang.
A few days na
A
lang.
few days na lang.
Yeah.
Pero, I mean, every day for me is Pride.
Yes. You don't need to wait for
June.
Pride Month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's it for the big story this Thursday evening. Thank you so much for watching.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
We're back here tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Have a good night, everyone.
Coming up next, we have play-by-play with Andre Felix and Cheska Liton-Calao. Hi, Andre. Hi, Check. What's up, guys? What do you have for
Makakaway
us?
pa ako sa mga guests nyo. Hi,
Oh.
Ma'am Margot.
Ito talaga si Andre. Lagi.
M&M.
Kagabi, kumakain ng chicken
Andre!
Yes.
Pawi likes a certain wallpaper.
Buti hindi nyo narinig yung sinabi niya. We met doon sa previous network. Huwag mo na ulitan. Yes, we met there before. No, it's okay. Pero yes, we met there.
Hey,
Kaya nga.
you didn't hear what Miss Cess said.
What did you say?
Are you ignoring?
No. It's a selective hearing.
I said Pawi likes some wallpaper print there.
Says
this
the
ultimate
the one that
Google
matches your
encourager.
outfit.
Ano yung gusto? Ano yung gusto?
Wallpaper, ito.
For our house.
Done.
Oh, that's
Oy,
pretty.
yan?
Yes.
Sa kwarto natin?
Get a room.
Okay.
Isa lang yung tamang sagot.
Sige.
Yes, honey.
Hindi.
That is a yes.
Oh, yes. Alam niyo naman yan. Lahat kayo, alam niyo. May mga, di ba? Alam niyo yung nasusunod.
Alam ni Cheska, tinan mo yung tingin niya sa'yo.
That is a yes.
Nasusunod ang babae, ang mga boss. Natawa na lang. Thank you to your guests, M&M, the sisters. Millie Monday, we'll check it out. Thank you so much. And thank you once again, Big Story. Hindi kita ini-ignore, sis. Pwede ba yun? Baka...
Hindi naman si Session ignore.
Thank you to Cheska for the
Oh.
giant ate.
Sarap! Ang sarap!
It's not ripe yet.
Hindi pa siya hinog.
Liar ka! Liar!
Di pa ba hinog?
Alam namin, hindi ka kumakain ng fruits, Andre.
Chinek ko bago ako pumasok tonight.
Sayang. Sabi kong sarap na tikman, hilaw pa
Mambobola
pala.
lang, mali pa.
Okay, sorry. Hindi, mukhang masarap, malalaki. Thank you.
Pero ang sarap, sabi mo, ha?
Thank you once again, Big Story. Thank you, Zaz. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Paulina. And once again, to Millie Monday. Check them out in Cultura. Okay, on our show, we've got the highlights of the first round of the 2025 NBA Draft, including Cooper Flag going #1 overall as expected.
It's another pretends to be shocked moment.
Meme. Nagulat pa ba tayo? Plus, some Pinoy pride as well with Filipino-American Dylan Harper at #2.
And we've got updates from the semifinals of the PBA Philippine Cup.
I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Liton-Calao.